What's up guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is my review of the Magnaflow Street Catback exhaust fitting 2015 and up EcoBoost Mustangs. The Magnaflow Street Catback is going to be great for the S550 EcoBoost owners out there that are looking for more of a toned down or quieter system that isn't over the top or too loud, but one that has a deep sound and a good quality. This is a perfect option for the guys that are not looking for anything too loud and just want something mild that's going to open up some exhaust flow and give a better sound than the factory exhaust. Like most setups, this catback is going to eliminate the factory resonator and replace it with just a Y pipe, and not only is this going to open up sound and exhaust flow and ultimately power, but it's also going to free up some weight too. Magnaflow then gives this system their Street Series mufflers, which is a straight-through design, but I will say right now that even though they are a straight-through design, this is not a very loud catback, as you guys already heard from the sound clips. This is a 2.5-inch catback that is a full stainless steel catback, and it's also mandrel bent. You're looking at 4.5-inch polished stainless steel tips out back, which looks awesome in my opinion. Stainless steel is always a great option for the cars that see all different types of road conditions because it offers great corrosion resistance. And it's nice to see that Magnaflow has stepped up to that 2.5-inch system instead of sticking with a 2.25-inch exhaust, especially considering this is a turbo car and opening up that exhaust is always going to benefit you. At idle, you can hear that this catback is deeper than the factory exhaust, but it's not very loud. You hear more of the deepness and tone here. And as RPMs climb, this catback stays deep, but it doesn't really increase in volume at all, which is what makes it perfect for those that are looking for a tamer exhaust. I'd even go as far as saying that this catback does maintain some of that stock sound in the higher RPMs, and you can hear it in the sound clips since there isn't a ton of volume here. This catback gives a smooth sound, which makes it sound more like a muscle car than some of the other catbacks that I've heard. Also, I wouldn't say that there's any sound distortion here either, because you don't have the volume for that. Maybe more towards redline there is some, but that's normal even with the factory exhaust. There also isn't any popping or anything on decel. The sound stays smoother as well. And speaking of that, there's no rasp to this system. Some people love a raspy note and others try to avoid it. So if you're looking for loud or raspiness, then there are some other better options for you on the site. Another plus of having a quieter system like this means there's no interior drone. You almost don't even notice that there's an aftermarket exhaust in the car at cruising speed, so that means you won't have any trouble having a conversation or listening to the radio on the highway, and so you won't have to worry about dealing with drone on trips. So like most aftermarket catbacks, this one's going to open up some of that nice turbo noise. You can hear the turbo spool and you get some of that blow-off noise as well. Now with all of this being said, you have to keep in mind that this is a 4-cylinder turbo car. It's not going to sound like a V8. But this catback does have that clean, deep type of sound that's relatable to the sound of a V8, so if that's what you're looking for, then you're looking in the right place. Overall, this is a deep-sounding system that's not over the top at all and is actually quiet when compared to some of the other options that are out there for the EcoBoost, and it's actually one of the quietest systems currently available. So I'm going to give it a 2 or 2.5 out of 5 on the loudness scale. With catbacks, it really all depends on what you're looking for, and luckily there are quite a few options out there. When we start to look at price, we see that this Magnaflow catback is going to be towards the top of the line, costing over $1,000. This is a full stainless steel option, so it's not unusual to see these costing more, and this is not the most expensive option that's out there. You're looking at about $1,100, but this is one of the higher quality systems, and it also steps up to that 2.5-inch diameter. When it comes to the install, you're going to be looking at an easy 1 out of 3 wrenches on the scale when we look at difficulty. This is a direct bolt-on item, so you won't need to cut anything or modify anything to get it installed. All they're really going to need is a socket set, and a lift would certainly make things easier, but the job can be done on stands as well. Going to be removing the exhaust from the resonator back, and an extra set of hands can make things easier for you here. You will be moving over your hangers to the new catback, so I'd recommend taking them off with the factory exhaust when you drop that. It'll make the swap a little bit easier. The only other thing you'll reuse is the front clamp off of the resonator for the front of the new catback. The whole catback can be dropped as one big piece, which is why an extra set of hands can really help here. When you go to install your new setup, it'll probably be easiest to start from the front and move back. So install the Y and mid-pipe area first, then the intermediate pipes and the muffler assemblies. And I'd leave everything loose until you have it all lined up and then tighten it down. The catback does come with 4 new clamps, so you don't have to worry about picking those up, and you can figure on spending about an hour or 2 from start to finish to get all of this done. Overall, the Magnaflow catback is a great option for those looking for a quieter but deep-sounding system that's not going to be too loud. It's a 2.5-inch system that utilizes a Y pipe to 2 Magnaflow Street Series mufflers, and it's a direct bolt-on item that requires no cutting. You can check this catback out online some more for yourself, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.